What is the definition of child abuse? In general, the law defines child abuse as physical, emotional, or sexual mistreatment of children. It can also be defined as a behavior directed toward a child by an adult that harms a child's physical or emotional health and development. What are the signs of abuse teachers need to know? Teachers need to be familiar with certain symptoms in order to recognize a child who is being abused. These symptoms may be physical, evidence of neglect, or emotional. Physical abuse is the most conspicuous kind of child abuse. Its signs include unexplained bruises, burns, fractures, and lacerations or abrasions. When a child comes to school with any of these symptoms, there is reason to suspect child abuse, and teachers are expected to alert the school authority, who is legally required to take the necessary steps to protect the child. Physical neglect may not be as obvious as physical abuse usually is, but its symptoms still show up in physical and behavioral ways. Indicators include lack of supervision, poor hygiene, abandonment, frequent absences from school. A child who comes to school not wearing the appropriate dress for the weather, not coming to school regularly, and not receiving needed medical attention indicates a possible instances of neglect, which should be a source of concern to teachers. Emotional maltreatment. This is the failure to meet the child's emotional needs, like providing adequate affection and emotional support for the child. Some of the indicators are speech disorders, lacks in physical development, and habit disorders. An emotional maltreated child is most likely to exhibit some of the following behaviors: habit disorders like sucking and biting. The child is also likely to have learning difficulties and delayed language development. This should alert a teacher that the child is likely being abused and should therefore report to the school authority. Agencies to which child abuse can be reported: physicians, nurses, social workers, school teachers, and child care personnel in many states, including Georgia, are required by law to report suspected child abuse to county child welfare agencies. Georgia Code Section 1975, amended and signed into law on April 8, 1981, requires that substantiated cases be reported to the police or a district attorney. Failure to report is a misdemeanor in Georgia. Legal procedures teachers can follow. Most states require an oral report within 24 to 72 hours, while some allow up to 7 days. This will be followed by a more detailed written report. The written report should include the following information: names and address of the child, the nature and extent of the injury or condition observed, and the reporter's name and address. In some states and districts, reporting form is provided. However, since state legislatures amend their laws, educators must check periodically with appropriate state agencies so that they would have the most recent update of the law. Child abuse is of great concern to educators, parents, neighbors, teachers. Lawmakers are encouraged to work together to see that no child is being abused, either physically or emotionally, and that the school should be a conducive environment for the child to learn.